Welcome back to the Crystal City Witches podcast. We are episode 10. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. This is amazing. We're so excited to have you guys here. So thank you for watching. Today, we are talking about messages to our younger selves. And this also includes messages that we think anybody should hear, whether they're younger or older. These are just some solid points that we have learned over the years that we love to share with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to let Ariana go ahead and kick us off. So take us away, girl.
Ooh, okay. Thank you so much. I feel like I have so much to say. And now that you put me on the spot, I was like, what do I even say? No, I'm just kidding. So, some messages to my younger self. There's so much that I would love to be able to say to my younger self. First of all, I would love to give myself a hug. Like, I feel like my younger self really just needs a big, sincere hug and to be told that it's okay and it's going to be okay. Your life isn't going to be like this forever. The circumstances aren't always going to be the same. Like, things are going to change. But through that change can also bring discomfort, which, it doesn't always feel good in the moment, but it doesn't mean that it's going to feel that way forever. And, you know, in learning to be yourself, your beautiful, unique self, I find that your certain light starts repelling certain people as it also starts to attract new people.
Yeah.
But the people that it repels, sometimes it's kind of, in my experience and experiences that I've heard from people around me, it's usually the people that are directly around you that start kind of straying away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the people where you're like, wait a second, I would have never thought you would step away from me for being my authentic self. But what I've learned and what I preach is that when you're not being your authentic self, people get to know you for what you're showing them. So once they see a whole nother side, they're like, whoa, this person has changed. Like, I don't like this anymore. But it's like, no, honestly, that was always you. You just needed the courage to bring it out of you. And another message to my younger self that's really important, like, courage really comes from within.
Mm.
Courage is something that, for me, it's like courage was built. Like, I had to build it up brick by brick the
Yeah.
more sure of myself I became.
Yes.
And I wish I could go back in time and tell myself it's okay that you don't feel as confident as the next person might appear. And just because someone appears to be confident doesn't mean that they're actually confident. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what's really going on behind someone's eyes. Like, at their core, truly only that person knows. So, yeah, I could go on, but I
Yeah.
really want to hear what you have to say, Jax. Give us some messages. I'm pretty sure something's going to really resonate with me, so I'm excited about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love everything that you've said. I'm like nodding in agreement. I'm like, yes, 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 absolutely. I agree with all of that. Nailed it. Yeah, I would just love to add to like about when um, you start sharing your light and really embodying who you are authentically, you'll find that people are, especially close to you that are suddenly repelled or that may, you know, really kind of put up that resistance to it. Just being comfortable with that because, as you step into who you are, um, those other people aren't in alignment anymore, and that's okay. We've talked about that in a couple of episodes so far about being comfortable with that and realizing that that happens. And kind of to piggyback on that as well, a good message that, I'd love to share to my younger self and to all of the other people out there is that the way somebody acts towards you isn't always about you. It's about them. It's a reflection on them and who they feel they are, who they feel you are based on their perception. It doesn't mean that's who you are, and it doesn't mean that it's actually about you. It's a reflection of their character, their perception, how they feel inside. And so for me, it was really hard not to take anything personally growing up, but I've kind of learned that, just because somebody is acting really shitty towards you doesn't mean that you are a shitty human. It's more of a reflection on them and how they feel inside. It comes down to the phrase, hurt people, but it's true. If somebody's trying to hurt you, it's probably because they feel hurt inside. They don't like who they are. They don't like their life. And so they have to express that out towards you. But, as hard as it is, just try not to take it personally, which is easier said than done. But, it kind of goes into also another message too is don't care so much what people think. Um, the most important thing is that you like you. And if you like you, then it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. If you like you and you're happy with how you are living your life, how are you treating yourself, then it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's okay. Not everybody's for you. And if you try to appeal to everyone, you appeal to no one. So sometimes you just got to take a stand and be like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. And I like me and I like what I do and I like how I do it. And if you don't, sorry, I hate it for you. You're not for me.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, I was taking notes and
Yeah.
like literal quotes from what you were saying. I'm like, let me read this. Um, when you said if you like you and you're happy, like that's what really matters. I'm like, yes, because we can really get caught up, especially not to say this doesn't happen when you're an adult. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to get your hopes up like, oh, I'll never face these issues as an adult.
You do.
You do, and there's added layers to it, but
Yeah.
life. But we can get caught up in what other people think, how they view us. Like, okay, for example, when I was in high school, I had a best friend. We had been best friends for quite some time already, and realistically, looking back, I don't think she liked me very much. Or it's that she wasn't happy with herself necessarily, so she would take it out on other people. Like calling other people ugly, or I don't know why you hang out. Well, she didn't say it to me. She said someone else that said it to me, but like, I don't know why she hangs out with people like that, people that are ugly. And I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
that really it really says something about you to think like who because when I heard it when it
Yeah.
got back to I was like, who even thinks like that? Like that is insane. Like to me, I was just walking down the street with my friend and she's down the street saying these things about us and I'm like, that's crazy. But the reason I bring her up is because for a while I didn't like my height. I am 5'6.5". I grew that half like a few years ago. Okay, the world said I was done growing. My body said no. And she used to call me a giraffe. Not like cutesy, you're a giraffe. Like, you're a giraffe, you're a tall freak, like, things like that. So I stopped, like, I felt very insecure. And the crazy thing is, she's only like 2 inches shorter than me. So I'm like, girl, whatever. But it took me time because I was like, first of all, she was my best friend at the time. So you would think, like, I can trust you because you're my best friend. You wouldn't do anything to harm me because you're my best friend. Let message to anyone out there. That's not true. That's not always 100% true. Just because someone is your best friend or they have that title as your best friend, it does not mean that they cannot or will not hurt you or harm you. It does
Yeah.
not mean they have your best interest at heart. It does not mean that you two, like, in the beginning, sure, you guys could have been in alignment, but maybe you guys have held on to each other for too long. And the world is like, all right, it's time to separate. Like,
Yeah.
but back to the girl. Um, it was a lot of situations like that, honestly. And she was the first friend that I ever cut out of my life. It took a lot of bravery and a lot of courage for me because growing up, I was actually pretty quiet. I mean, I'm still kind of quiet. Like, I don't like to just talk to hear myself talk a lot, I guess. Unless it's like a close friend sometimes. But
Yeah.
like, it took a lot of bravery for me to be able to cut her out of my life
Good.
because, like, what was I, like 15 or 16, making
Yeah.
such big decisions like that? Like, oh, we were like this, but I think
Yeah.
it's important, especially growing up, to take into account how someone treats other people.
Yeah.
Not just how, actually, yeah, take account how they treat you, but take account how they treat other people.
Yeah.
Because looking back, I'm like, wow, you're calling people ugly. You're saying these bad things about them. And then I got to the point I was like, wait a second. What are you saying about me
Yeah.
behind my back? I
Yeah.
got that information too. It was a lot. She was saying a lot, but it turns out she was saying a lot about everyone.
Yeah.
So when you say, like, you know, if you like you and you're happy, that's all that matters. But if you, there's always the case where you actually don't like yourself.
Yeah.
What do you do? And this is a question for you to
Okay.
answer, but like, what do you do in at that point? Like, say you're like 15, and say you're kind of like that girl. You're being very rude to people. How how do you come back from that? How do you begin to heal from that?
Oh man. I mean, I definitely think, you've got to cut them out because just because somebody says they're your friend does not make it so. And you've got to take the time to look inward and really evaluate who you're spending your time with and what you value. And if you value yourself. Because your self-worth is generated from you, not from the car you drive, the cell phone you have, the clothes you wear, any external things. It's your own internal self-worth. And so I think if, you've got somebody who's a friend who does these things to you, first and foremost, like you've got to cut out that relationship because it's not good for you mentally, emotionally, or really spiritually. So getting them out of your life first and foremost, and then, just really instead of adopting the mindset of loss, I've lost this friend, I feel grief over this, and, really beating yourself up, celebrate yourself and like, I celebrate you for your bravery and your courage to cut this friend out of your life because that wasn't a true friend. That wasn't somebody that's going to build you up, and so taking that mindset of celebrating your courage and your bravery in valuing yourself and, looking forward to the future in recognizing how to spot that in other people before you get too involved with them. And I think that's healing of itself is taking it as a lesson and taking it as I did really good because I recognized this and I stopped it. I cut this person out and now I know the lesson in it. Um, and I'm not going to beat myself up over it because life is a lesson. You're always learning. You're always growing and you're always developing a deeper sense of self and worth and self-love. And I think that journey is very healing. And it's, you know, healing's like an onion. There's always layers to unravel. Um, but you know, you get a little bit better at, you know, what methods work best for you, you know, whether it's talking it out or writing it down or, you know, doing some form of exercise, um, using, you know, crystals or sound therapy or, you know, just taking a shower, you know, you find the things that help you feel better. And so, you know, taking that step too is very healing, you know, taking care of yourself and adopting a positive mindset and looking at what can you learn from the experience and how can you apply it moving forward.
Mm. Yes, that was a beautiful, beautiful answer. And I agree with what you said. And I hope someone out there watching it, like, feels a sense of comfort. Like, you know what, this is actually something that I'm going through. I had to cut someone out. Maybe you really didn't want to. Because a lot of the time it's like we have to, it's not necessarily that we want to. And protecting your peace is something that I wish I would have been more aware of in my younger years, like, and not
Yeah.
in a shameful way. I just wish I would have known. But that's okay.
Yeah.
You learn things when you learn them.
Hmm.
Something else I really want to say is something that you want to make a priority is healing. And I mean that in healing through different forms, not just healing through pain, like painful endings or things like that, like healing through laughter, through joy, through
Yeah.
dance, through making new memories that maybe like your family members or your benevolent ancestors, those that came before you, weren't able to do, like filling your cup
Yeah.
in new, exciting ways. Because I do feel like a lot of the time, because I've been seeing a lot of posts I'm done with healing now. I want to like live and do this, and I was like, to me, that's still healing. Like it's just healing in a different form, but
Yeah.
it's still like I feel like healing kind of fits into like every category in a sense.
Yeah. You're never done
And
healing.
yeah, healing.
You're
You're
never done.
never done healing. Yeah, and healing is a lifelong journey for real. Don't try to rush your healing. I mean, even if you try to rush it out, you're gonna burn yourself out. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
divine timing is at work for a reason, and you know that's okay. Oh, get comfortable with waiting on the right time for things to happen in divine timing. Not saying like, oh, I've been waiting for this guy to ask me out for 12 years because it's in divine timing. No, 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 that's not what I mean. I mean, like, I can't think of an example right now, but not, not that one. Nothing like
Well,
that. Nothing that's going to
well,
be, like, detrimental to your health or to your mind or to your emotional well being. That's another thing. Invest into yourself like you invest into other people.
yeah.
Invest into your mental, emotional, and physical and your spiritual health. Invest into all of that because that will take you so far and it will give you such a strong foundation to stand on. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Um, Something that really helped me, I don't think I've ever told this story on here. Something that really helped me and a message to my younger self. It's more of a, like, congratulations, you really set me up for success. You thought you were crazy. Everyone thought you were crazy, but you weren't. You were actually the most sane one. When I was in high school and I was seeing everyone get like boyfriends and girlfriends, I like sat myself down one day and I was like, who is Ariana? And I was like,
Ooh.
I don't have an answer. And I was just like, well, if you don't know, and thinking back, I was like, this is a conversation with my higher self. But like, if you don't know who you are, how are you going to share yourself with someone else? It's not
Yeah.
just like sharing your body, you're sharing your mind and like all parts of your being and stuff. And I was
Yeah.
seeing like the people around me, I'm like, this doesn't look healthy or happy. And a lot of it, I'm like, you kind of look like you're just doing it to do it because that's what we're supposed to do. or
Yeah.
that's what everyone's doing. And I was like, all right, let me try something different, I guess. Like, I wasn't having sex. I was in love with one person that probably kept me out of a lot of trouble. Not a good person either. Cut people out of your life, party people, cut them out. But I would say, like, because of the person that I know I am, and how emotional I am, and how, like, I do wear my heart on my sleeve, like, I made a really good choice in choosing to just get to know myself and just kind of like learn to navigate life solo,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want to get to like this age and be like, I can't be alone. I don't know how to be alone. I've never been alone in my life. And it's just like, okay, no,
Yeah.
I know how to be alone. I like being alone. And now I'm at the point where, ooh, you're gonna be the first person I'm saying this to out loud. I think I wouldn't mind attracting in a partner, an aligned, healthy, joyous, intelligent, super aligned partner.
Let's manifest that. Let's put that out. Yes. And all in divine timing.
Hey, universe.
Yes.
In divine timing.
In divine timing. Yes. Yeah, I think that's really important
Right.
is getting to know yourself and your values and your likes and your boundaries and who you are before getting involved with someone else. I think that's really important message. Because like you said, it's that like expectation of, oh, you just get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or, whatever. But if you don't know who you are and what you value, how can you contribute anything to that partnership? You have to really be your own person and know who you are and what you value and be able to, know what you bring to the table in order to contribute. And them as well. It has to be a partnership, not just a sense of codependency and, oh, I need somebody, um, you know, dating just to date. You have to know what you're looking for. And I know there's a lot of pressure to get, like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a situationship or whatever, be in a relationship. But, that's a society's pressure and you don't always have to give in to that. Know your values and know yourself before you do anything else.
Mm, yes, I do agree with that. I feel like, I don't know, like, and I'm not saying like dating at a young age is bad or anything. It's just
Oh
like
yeah,
I wasn't responsible enough to do it. I had I think I had two two boyfriends, very short, like a week, and all of my any like teen relationship I had was very short, like very short. And the one that I had that was a little younger, I mean a little younger, a little longer, it was just not not healthy once again, because I didn't know myself, I didn't know my boundaries. So I if you don't know your boundaries, how are you going to establish them with yourself and also with other people?
yeah.
Because
That's
that
exactly,
was
that's
where
exactly what I said.
yes.
You have to know what you stand for, what you'll allow, because otherwise you will fall into unhealthy relationships. And sometimes you have to get out there and experience that in order to learn what you need to learn about yourself. But if you can have a good, internal monologue with yourself and do some self work before you get into a relationship, it makes it a lot easier to select the right person for you. So don't feel rushed to get into a relationship or a situationship because that's what everybody else is doing. Um, it's okay to not do that, to really get comfortable with who you are and, just try to, you know, use discernment and who you're hanging out with and who you're engaging with, especially who you're intimate with. Being really, really discerning because it matters. I know, growing up, it was, I heard that so many times, but it didn't sink in until much later, in my life. And, now I'm like, yes, it's a message for my younger self that I wish I had paid attention to, is be discerning who you're hanging out with and who you're engaging with and who you're being intimate with, because it actually does matter. It's, if we want to be all woo woo about it, right? It's an energy transfer, but I mean, also, I feel like I could find scientific sources that also cite this, that psychologically you adopt that, traits and qualities and values of the other person. And so, making sure that those are in alignment with who you are too, is really, really important. So just that's all I gotta say about that.
Ooh, ooh, okay, okay. I love this. This has been like a really good conversation. I'm
Yeah.
thinking there's something I want to say, but I'm trying to figure out if I want to say it here today. But because I wrote about it, I have a Substack, y'all. I do not promote it at all. It is actually secret because that's where all of my heavy writing goes, that I have to like build myself up to post other places. But I did post about it on my Instagram. My newest piece is called My Body Is Not Your Playground and Never Was. I do want to highlight this message to my younger self and to anyone who can relate to this. Your body is not someone's toy to play with, neither is your mind, your spirit, any bit of your being is not for someone to play with. If
Yeah.
you tell someone no to something and they do not listen to you, that is them disrespecting your boundaries. If
Yeah.
you know this person, if you just feel unsafe with this person, know that your body is trying to tell you something, because
Yeah.
I wish I would have had the confidence to speak up or walk away from a lot of situations, or even like fight back in a lot of situations where I froze and I couldn't. And I'm not shaming myself for that in any
Right.
way. And neither should any of you if you can relate to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I find that this is about growth. Not saying that, who knows, something might happen in the future. I might freeze up again. Like, there's not always a way to properly prepare for everything that could possibly happen to you.
Yeah.
But I do want you to know that situations like that are not something that are stripping you of your power.
Yeah.
They're not stripping you of anything. Everything that's being lost or tainted isn't within you. It's within that other person.
Yeah.
Okay? And I want you to know that you're strong and you are brave and you are amazing and we love you. And if you need someone to talk to, we're always here. You can always, if it's something like this, feel free to send an email. If you don't want to leave a comment, that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. But I wanted it to, I don't know, if it kind of feels like we're wrapping up, but if we
Yeah.
are, I did kind of want to end it on this type of note. Like, I just want the people out there to know you're not alone. And I know we say this a lot, but it's because we mean it. You're not alone. And we deeply, deeply love you.
Yes. Yes, we love you guys. Yes, we're here for you guys. We want this to be a place of safety and of nourishment that you can come and you can, lessen your burden and share with us if you guys feel comfortable. You can send us an email, you can DM me, or I'm sure you can DM Ariana, if you feel so inclined on Instagram. But yes, we have open doors for safety and comfort for you guys. And I would love to, if anybody has some messages for their younger selves that they would say, to drop it in the comments. We want to hear from you guys. We see you guys watching and we want to hear from you. So yes, please drop them in the comments. If anything super resonated with you guys, drop that in the comments and let us know, because we love the feedback. We want to hear it. We want to hear from you guys. We love y'all. Like, use your voices. Let us hear you. Yes. Yes. Yeah, we'll wrap up for the day here with our beautiful messages. Thank you, Ariana, for sharing your stories. I love it. I love to hear it.
Oh, aw, and thank you for sharing because you are so wise, and I just love listening to you speak. And I know everyone else loves listening to you speak as well. But I just want to say thank you, you guys, for watching. We appreciate you, we love you, and we will definitely see you in the next episode. I can't wait.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell wherever it is. And so you don't miss it. Yeah, wherever it is. So you don't miss the next episode. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.